have all this together now, so now we actually have to put it to use. So we go out, we have our bait tied on to the whole setup that I just described. 30 or 40 pound short program on top shot. First thing that we want to do, hook placement on our sardines. Okay, a couple of different methods of doing it. One, we tried and true, which is the nose hook. Nose hook sardines live the longest. Okay, you can keep them in that water for 3, 4, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, even on a long soak. But the problem with the nose hook is that it's just like, into the nose. You're trying to pull something. It's pulling you one way. It's got line dragging on you, rubbing on its head, and everything like that. So it's not going to be as lively. Then you have another method, which is the butt hooking method. Now that method, they swim really good, but they don't last very long. And if you put too much of a cap onto your rod, they come flying right off. But it does work. So try a couple of different methods. In your case, sir, you saw them jumping around and boiling and getting upset because they're not eating anything with a line in it. Or a hook in it. Another method that we have been using an awful lot of is the shoulder hooking method, which is right on top of it, right behind the neck of the sardine. Okay, if you think about it, when you throw that sardine out, because we're using that on the large elephant tuna when we're fishing a kite. It's called a double trouble rig, and we hook them just like that, and they're splashing just on top. When that tuna looks up, he doesn't see line, he doesn't see a hook, he just sees the belly of his bait, and he comes up and he wants to eat it. Okay? So as far as now we have all this together. We've got our setup. We went to the hand well. We picked up our bait. We made our cast. As soon as that bait hits the water, one of the first things that I see people doing is they're so afraid to get a backlash. They literally they impede the process. They will hold on to that reel or hold on to the line, whatever it is that they're doing, to keep this sardine from doing what it has to do, which is swim out there. Okay? So one of the first things that you want to make sure that you do is, if this bait wants to go, you let him go. I try to keep as little tension on the spool of the reel as possible without backlashing it, of course. So if that means that I have to gently kind of feather it and just keep tapping it a little bit, I will do that. Okay? As soon as that bait hits the water, he's going to take off, assuming you pick a good one. Okay? He takes off, and then he stops. Yeah, I would stop too. If I was being thrown in the water and there was a bunch of fish trying to eat me in the water, I'm stopping, I'm coming back. Okay? So what do we have to do to get him to go? Well, we're going to backpedal it. Okay? The problem that we have, that back schooling method, here's what I have found with that. You end up getting a lot of loose line on your reels. Okay? When you have this loose line, it can cause a couple of disasters out there in that it will, if you're fishing a short top shot, that razor line will dig into it and break itself off. What I do is I put the reel out of gear and I'm holding it like this. I've got it through all my fingers. And if I need to tug back just a little bit, I will do it with my hand. All the while keeping the tension onto the spool here. I pull back, I feel the sardine, I just tug on him just a little bit and he takes off again. So rather than kind of back spooling like that and ending up with all this slack line that I'm trying to wind onto my reel, I'm just going to do it all with my hand. Okay, drastic measures, if he doesn't go, put the reel in here and then wind on. Okay, wind on the peel him on that and then put the reel right back out and increase it. Okay, and so you want to do that until you will feel that sardine on the end of your line. That's one of the nice things about fishing a short top shot with braided line. Braided line is a very sensitive line. So you will feel everything on there. His tail beat. You'll know when he's dead. You'll know when when it's just a current taking him out there. Okay? So you want to feel everything. You want to feel that sardine's tail beat on the end of your line. Once you stop feeling that, you kind of put the reel in gear, wind up and change your bait. Depending on the boat you go on, I have heard Frank on the roll player say something. I use a lot of bait. I don't believe in long soaks, so if any of you ever come out and fish with me, be it Guadalupe or be it Gales Hurricane Bank, you will never see me soak a sardine out there forever. That is not what I'm into, and I don't like to do that. I fish a lot of live bait. I fish one for a minute, 2 minutes, I would really go wind it up, go back to the bait tank, grab another one, throw it out there, and I fish a very active bait. So what they like to say on boats, what I like to say is, you can use as much bait as you want, just don't waste it. So if you're just constantly going through that bait tank and you're just ripping baits off and casting them off and whatnot, you're wasting it. But if you're putting it to good use, I don't think anyone would have a problem with it. They would never yell at me. Then again, it might be because I tipped wrong. Okay? So now you have that bait in the water. we're going to do that. We're not going to impede the process. We're going to let him swim and swim hard and swim fast. All in the while, we are pulling back again. We're keeping a good amount we're keeping tension on the bait, but not enough to slow him down. The reason why I want to keep this tension on there is because how many of you have seen tangles with spit-braided line on your open party trails? It's a mother. So you will sit there and literally, it takes sometimes 30 minutes to get those tangles out with the braided line. It's thin, it cinches down real quick. So if you the better you stay in touch with your bait, stay in contact with it, and keep things tight, no angles, no tangles, and you can follow your bait left, right, wherever he's going, the better you will not be the one that everybody on the boat hates. Okay? So now, a little trick. Going into that whole stealth fishing mode, a little trick that I will share with you, and I just urge you not to share it with anyone else. This is something that I figured out along with another partner of mine when we were fishing on a big fish trip together. You ready? Tip is this. We're watching all those tuna boiling around, right? So we throw out our bait, and we've got that thing swimming, and he's going on. So he's taking off. We know that he's boiling right to where your flat screen TV is back there. Okay? He hasn't been eating anybody's bait out there. But it's just out there splashing around. What I do is I'll throw that bait out, and I'll wait for him to get to where that TV is. I'll put the reel in gear. Then I just wait out there. I'll start winding in a little bit, because I know he's going to try to come back to the boat. He sees these fish right here. He's not stupid. So I'll wind up a little bit. As soon as I see that fish coming out and boiling in and tease us, I put a little bit of tension on the reel, put the reel in free spool, and the bait takes off. Usually, 8 out of 10 times, you get bit, because you have kept your bait where the tuna or that fish is. You understand what I'm saying? No. No? Say it again. Yeah. Say it again. Yeah. If I'm standing on the boat. I'm on the Pacific Voyager with you on the day-and-a-half trip. Your charter. Okay? I see the tuna boiling around where your flat screen TV is back there. So you'll see everyone throw the bait into the water, sit there and start backpedaling and playing around and getting it to swim. And by the time it's done, this fish, he has been boiling where that TV is all day long. You have the bait goes way past that. Do you think that you are still in the zone, or are you praying that that fish decides to go out and chase your bait some 50 yards away from where he was? He will hang out there. Okay? They're all just around that same little area there. So why would I, at that point, keep my bait in the water and just keep soaking it way back there when I know the bite zone is right where that TV is? So I will throw my bait out. I will let him swim and get to where I think he is around that general vicinity. Okay? I put my reel in gear, and I will wait. I don't let him take any more line. Okay? If he can't take any more line, and he has one choice, he's coming back to the boat. As soon as I get any slack line, I put the reel in gear, and I will wind until I feel him on there, give him a little bit of a tug, then put the reel out in free spool. All in the while, keeping him in that vicinity of where the fish is. Okay? So that's